I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is not the first college freshman year advice video that you've watched. At this point, we all know not to take 8 a.m. classes and to go eat healthy food in the dining hall. Like, bro, tell us something we don't already know. About a year ago, I made this video focusing on the social scene of college, but the reality is that you also need to lock in academically too in order to set up your career in the future. I think college is a place where you need to learn to balance both in order to be successful. So I'm gonna cut the BS, let's just get straight into it. Let's start on academics. I just wanna tell it to you how it is. High school teachers low-key glaze how hard college classes actually are. If you took a reasonable number of AP and like IB courses in high school, it won't be that much harder for you to continue to get A's in college, but there's two main differences that you need to keep in mind. The first thing is that your college courses are way more test heavy. In most of the classes that you take, especially if you're a STEM student, about 60 to 80% of your grade is going to be based on your exam scores. When I heard that going into college, my first thought was like, oh, like, you know, when you take your math courses in high school, you take your calc class, it's not that hard to get an A, right? But the truth is that imagine you're in a college environment where the cutoff for a class is a 93 in order to get an A. If 80% of your grade is based on exam scores, do the math real quick. You basically have to score at least like a 91 to 92 average at the minimum in order to clutch a low A in a course. The more challenging part here is also when you take the flip side of this, right? Imagine you're taking a college course and your first exam of the year, you low-key bomb it, bro. You drop like a 50 or a 60. Happens to the best of us, but what happens if in this particular class, every exam that you take is worth like 20% of your class grade and your teacher refuses to curve or drop your lowest exam score? That 160 that you got at the start of the year is going to hold you back from getting any grade higher than a B. Now, most courses will usually let you drop your lowest exam score, so I wouldn't like completely stress out over this, but it's just something to keep in mind. You don't want to learn the hard way that getting one bad exam score in a course is going to lead to you not being able to get an A for the rest of the semester. No one wants to have that feeling. So to make sure that you don't go get caught lacking like this, one thing that I just can't stress enough how useful it is as soon as your courses start, like in freshman year or for the rest of the time that you're in college, literally take 2 minutes to look at the course syllabus as your professor is handing it out. And you don't even have to read the entire thing, bro. Just go skip to the grading section to see exactly how the course grades are going to get mapped up. The main things that you're looking for are what the cutoff for an AR, what the distribution is between the different exams, between the homework, and then if there's any other bonus points or extra credit that you should keep in mind that will come in clutch later in the semester. If you're anything like me and you're also like calculating your grade as you go during the semester, like, okay, this next exam, if I get a 70, like I'm still gonna have an A, bookmark all of the different syllabuses for like your syllabi for your different courses, and then you can go back and reference them over the semester whenever you need to, so you can always know how much that next exam is worth and how many points there are left so that you can maximize your grades. The second main difference from what you're probably used to in high school is that there is literally zero hand-holding from your professors in college. Whether you end up going on to get an A or you literally fail a class, no one cares, bro. This is especially like if you're in a freshman year gen ed class. Like imagine you're taking Introduction to CS and there's 300 other students in your class. Realistically, at the end of the 4 or 5 month semester, your professor doesn't even know your name. Now, I feel like where people really struggle here is not so much the independence and having to take like control of your learning. If you were grinding for like Ivy League, college apps and whatnot in high school, like you're pretty much on top of those things. It's more for the courses that shift over from the concept of making you like memorize textbooks in order to get your grade to the classes that actually make you apply the knowledge and think in order to get those points. Like if you're in a high school chemistry class, for instance, and you're doing a little experiment today, the experiment in total consists of like 5 steps, and your teacher is right there going from desk to desk, making sure that everyone is on top of things. The procedure that you're working off of literally has 5 steps, okay? A 5th grader would be able to do it if you gave them a little bit of help, but half the class is somehow clueless, and your teacher is like going out of her way to make sure that everyone is able to get good data, everyone's able to go through the experiment. You have a question, Mrs. Can you come help me with this? Like she immediately comes over. That's the type of thing you're dealing with in high school. In college, literally last semester, I had the wonderful pleasure of taking organic chemistry lab. Unless you literally blow up the lab station, no one's even coming over to say hi. There's an expectation now that you read the textbook ahead of time, you prepare your pre-lab and your notes, and you come into the experiment knowing exactly what needs to be done. You can still ask the teaching assistants or TAs if you have any questions, or if the college professors in the area, you're more than welcome to like ask them for a clarification. But there's a certain level of accountability now, and you're not asking them for like the little things like, oh, what size beaker should I be using? And when you're in the actual lecture setting, most times you are literally better off raising your hand to answer a college professor's question and getting the answer wrong than being the person who's too scared to ever, raise their hand or speak up because they're, constantly going back through the notes. Oh, am I doing the exact correct thing? Have a little bit of confidence when you're in these scenarios. Just trust me on this. It feels like these things are little now, but if you can get more comfortable and used to it earlier on, you'll just be able to develop better relationships with your professors and the TAs that you're working with once you're in those higher level courses. Now, one of the questions you might be asking yourself is if college is worth what you pay. This year, when Northwestern University is asking for $90,000 a year in tuition plus board, is it worth the money? No, it's not. It's a scam. But it's not like you have much of a choice here. You're still gonna go to college and get your degree, right? So let's talk about how you can maximize the investment that you're putting into college and so that all this money that's going into it is not a waste. A lot of people would tell you that the most important part of college is the education you're getting. But is that really true? Harvard quite literally posts recordings of a lot of their introductory lectures online for free for anyone to use. And when you're actually taking a course in college, imagine you're taking organic chemistry like we talked about. What do you think you do when there's a concept that you're stuck on? You go watch the organic chemistry tutor's videos. How do you think he got the name? That absolute GOAT legend himself. My point here is that most of the knowledge you gain in college can be learned for free online. So there's more to it than just memorizing facts out of a textbook. College is your first real opportunity to build your network. This is the entire point of going to a prestigious school. It's not just about flexing the name Stanford to a bunch of randoms at your high school. You have the opportunity to leverage this name brand to connect with people in industry, alumni, professors, peers. When you surround yourself with the right people, it literally becomes hard to fail. These people are all there to support and teach you as you go through college, and your goal is to learn as much as you can from them. Now, I'm not just gonna leave you here on some philosophy, okay? Let's get into the practicals. If you're an incoming freshman, I want you to understand that the hardest part of all this is not actually landing some research opportunity with the professor. Literally 2 months ago, I wanted to start a new research project in the coming fall, and so I started reaching out to professors. It took me maybe a week and a half from start to finish to land myself an opportunity for the fall. The actual hardest part about this whole networking process is finding the right friends. The thing about college friends is they end up defining your entire experience because of the amount of time that you end up spending with them. You go to the dining hall with friends, gym with friends, you study for upcoming exams with friends, and then after those same exams are done, you go out for the evening to some local function, and boom, you go with those same friends. I'm really emphasizing this fact because if you're around a bunch of academic, hardworking people, they will pull you in that direction. And if your friends just want to go out every day, you'll have a good time in college, but not a good time when you're trying to go find a job. Movies love to throw out the stereotype that you're either studious or you have fun and there's nothing in between. That could not be further from the truth. Find people who are driven academically, and 9 times out of 10, they're also the biggest degenerates. So you'll have your fun, don't worry. Now make friends with the people that you connect with best, okay? It might take 1, 2, maybe even 3 semesters, but eventually it will happen. However, there are a few types of friends that if you have, it will make your life infinitely better, and I just want to push you onto a little bit of game here. The first is upperclassmen friends, and ideally people who are in the exact same major or career path that you're going down. These people will give you the best advice on what courses to take, which professors are best, where to get internship opportunities, where to get research opportunities. They know all of the tech for your university, and they'll make sure that you don't also go on to make like the same dumb mistakes that they did. The second person is a friend with a car. I'm not gonna lie, like most colleges ban people from having cars freshman year, but it's so useful if you have one of your friends that for some reason is able to bring a car to campus. It unlocks the ability to travel, to go to nearby cities. Now, I don't want you to take advantage of any of the homies with a car, okay? Understand that they probably have at least a dozen people a day asking them to give them a ride to the local train station or the airport. Don't harass them in that sense. But if one of your actual homies has a car, or you have the ability to bring a car to campus, it is completely game-changing. Do what you can to figure it out. The third group of friends is more for your social scene. If you have friends that are in Greek life, right? This could also overlap with like your upperclassmen friends if they're in particular frats or sororities, or if you just have other friends your age who are pledging for Greek life. Having these friends just makes it easier to have more things to do with less work. You don't even have to be in a frat or a sorority, but you can still pull up to a lot of these events if you have a bunch of people there and they're willing to invite you. I'm living with 3 other roommates next year, like my 3 closest college homies, and all of them are in a frat. So I don't have to exactly put in any of the work. I didn't have to rush or pledge, none of that, but I still get all of the reward because they're in the frat and it's not an issue to be able to go and do things with them. And obviously that gives you the time to work on other hobbies. It let me start this YouTube channel, so hey, we're all winning here. The last number 4 group of friends would be like your gym homies, maybe even just one particular homie that you go to the gym with every day consistently. If you want to have the best time that you can in college, like you want to be in the best shape of your life, go to the gym, and if you have some homies to keep you accountable, it just makes life way easier. Now, I know half the people watching watching this right now are hearing what I say, but when the opportunity actually comes up in college to meet someone new, to take initiative and to start up a little conversation, make a new friend, you just don't do it because it feels awkward or you're too nervous in the moment. Look at me. Look at me. I don't care. This is your chance to mess up because realistically, you'll never see these people again. If you go to a big college, you'll never see them again. And if you go to a small college, after 4 years, you're moving across the country, you don't have to worry about them ever again. You can either go through a little awkwardness at age 18 or not have social skills as a 30-year-old. You take your pick. Every emotion you're feeling, whether it's nervousness or anxiety, or you just don't know what to say, the other people around you are feeling that too. I'm just here to keep it real. Once people find their social groups over the course of freshman year, if you're still like a lone wolf in sophomore year and you're looking around to try to force yourself into someone else's friend group later on, it's a lot harder. Freshman year sets the tone for the rest of your time in college. There are no do-overs. If you're lazy in your first year and all of a sudden you want to be active and happy and social in your second year, you might not have that opportunity. Push yourself socially and say yes to doing more things. Once you've gone through your whole first semester, that's when you can kind of sit and look back and reflect on the things that you like and you don't like, and then adapt for the rest of your time in college. While we're on the topic of social scene, let's talk about a couple college essentials that might not be on your traditional list. Having a speaker is not an optional item. It is essential. Having a speaker lets you host events, you can take it on trips, and it's like a one-time purchase that you may make at the start of college and it feels a little bit expensive, but you use it for the entire 4 years. You'll get your value out. The most versatile speaker you can get is one of those like high quality mid-sized ones. I'll put a picture somewhere on screen. This is the go-to option, but just keep in mind that a bigger speaker is always nicer to have. I also personally own one of these like smaller speakers, which are really good for traveling. I want to keep it real. I'm not sponsored by any of these brands, okay? You can buy a JBL speaker like I have. You can buy any other brand. I don't care, bro. But get a good quality speaker. These are great for like traveling and whatnot. But between you and your homies, you could also like divvy this up. Like personally, I have this small one and I also have like a massive box speaker that was like $300. And then my homie has like the good quality mid-size speaker. And so between those three, we can cover all of our functions. Also buy these LED lights for your room or something similar. I'm recommending these because bro, it's literally $10. I've bought these both my freshman and sophomore year. It took me like 15 minutes to get set up. It is infinitely better to have these and just be able to change the lights to like purple or red or whatever you want, rather than having all of those bright white lights on when you invite people over. Especially in the evenings, bro. Imagine it's like 11 p.m. You have like 15, 20 heads in your dorm, and y'all are just chilling under the bright dorm lights. God is watching you, bro. It's beaming down on you. Why? Honestly, it's hard enough to sleep in college between the noise that your roommates make, all the different stressors that you have going on between class and your social life. You want to do everything you can to optimize like the quality of the sleep that you're getting as well. This is one thing that will improve all areas of your life. Probably the best purchase I ever made freshman year was spending like 60 or 70 bucks to buy a really, really good quality 4-inch mattress topper for my dorm bed. You don't want to spend an entire year sleeping on that absolute rock slab crusty bed that they give you directly in the dorm. I would have my friends pulling up to my dorm from their dorm just to take a nap on my bed because of how comfortable it was. It is worth your money. The dorms do get really hot, so having a fan is very, very useful as well. And then last thing, I wish I bought like good quality shower sandals when I came to college. Everyone tells you like, oh, buy shower sandals. Bro, I just bought like random $3 ones off of like Temu. Dude, those like they just crumpled like styrofoam within like 2 months. Probably my fault, like I should have known better, but go ahead and spend like 10 or 15 bucks and get these good ones with like the holes off of Amazon. They are way better for like draining out the water. They dry off really quick, super useful. I'll link everything in the description, but if anything is like a little bit out of your budget range, I recommend just going on Amazon and trying to find like other models, particularly for like the speaker or the fan, that just fit your price range, but also get you that good high quality. Switching gears here, within the first 2 months of the school year, you will have the opportunity to go to what is called the club fair. You might have had something similar in high school. Basically, it just is usually just like a big outdoor event where all the different clubs come with their little trifold poster boards and their little presentations to try to convince you to join their club. At a lot of like top competitive universities, the main academic clubs that you want to be joining usually require you to apply. Not everyone can just join the club. If you want to get ahead in college, take the time to look at the club offerings ahead of time. Figure out exactly what you want to join, what you'd be passionate about, and that way you're not wasting your time on the club fair day trying to see these different booths and figure out what you actually like. And that way, if you also have to apply to these clubs, you're ready ahead of time to be able to give those materials, and you know that this is the club you want to do, and that way you can get things submitted ahead of time. You have enough just in general flexibility to be able to apply to the exact clubs you want with the best quality application possible. College clubs are similar to high school clubs though, in the sense that you shouldn't be doing like 10 different college clubs, okay? Pick out the exact academic clubs you want. It could just be 1 or 2 clubs. That's usually enough if you go with really good depth into them, and then actually take the time to build up through the ranks in that club, make sure it's something you're passionate about, and then commit to it. If you're going into like a particular like CS or engineering or law major, usually taking the time to be like extremely competitive in these clubs at a college level is enough to be able to score yourself internships and get other connections through networking later on. Clubs in college operate at a much higher level, okay? They tend to have partnerships with different actual like real world companies. Recruiters can come to these clubs. This is your way of potentially even landing a job in the future. So take club fairs a little bit more seriously than you might have thought in high school. Now that's academic clubs. There are also social clubs that you can join as well, right? For example, look at the color of my skin, right? I'm Indian, right? So it makes sense to gravitate towards something like ISA, where there's going to be opportunities to do like culture events and things that you just generally enjoy. I'm gonna be fully transparent for a second, right? When I was in high school, I would have thought doing something like an ISA type club would be a little bit corny, right? Like, oh, why would I want to go do that? But the thing is, once you're in college, like the whole vibe is just so different, right? It's so much more enjoyable to be doing these things, and like your interests change a little bit over time. My point here being, keep a little bit of an open mind and be a little bit more liberal in the fact that you're like joining a couple different social clubs, trying out exactly what you like, and then committing to it, okay? It's not like an academic club in the sense where you need to be locked in and grinding to get that job internship position. Your social clubs are social. Your goal here is to have fun, okay? So take it with a grain of salt. When it comes to career fairs, bro, the name is self-explanatory. You need to be going to these if you want a career. If you know that at your college's career fair, there are good quality companies coming. People are able to go through these and secure internships, start networking. Be ready and be prepared. Show up to the event in nice business casual attire. If not a full suit, I think it's totally fine. Come with your resume, do some research into the potential companies that are gonna be there if you have the ability to ahead of time. And then once you're there, it's time to cook, bro. Get yourself a job. I've been getting a lot more comments recently asking to make these college type guides the same way I do for high school. I'm totally down to make more videos like this and even do like a full guide on exactly how I studied to get all A's in college. I think it's so stupid when YouTubers have like goals for this video. Oh, if this video gets 50 billion likes, I'll make the video. Hey man, if literally one person leaves a comment down below asking for that 4.0 GPA and college guide, I'll make it. How about that? If you have more questions, feel free to follow me on Instagram and DM me, or just leave a comment on this video. This has been your boy Pratik. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace.